Kenya Association of Manufacturers has partnered with Nakuru County Government in the development of the industrial and manufacturing sectors in the county. The move comes amidst Nakuru County's plan to upgrade Nakuru into a city status where industrialization is expected to play a key role in the growth.
Very closely with our ICT team, Mr. Komen is here, to be able to avail data that will be necessary for your decision making. If today you want to set up an industry in a particular area, you want to know, is it a saturated market? Is there opportunity for me? And how can I be able to come into that space?
Women need to be given opportunities, women need to be trained. And we do have a program that we started last year called Women in Manufacturing, which centers on this very core, to create a platform to boost women participation in manufacturing, to ultimately contribute to the industrialization agenda.
All right, let's just now take a look at all the stories that made headlines during this week. In yet another show of dominance in the retail space, Dubai-based Majid Al Futtaim, one of the leading shopping malls, has announced plans to open its 5th Carrefour supermarket in Kenya. The new hypermarket will be located at the ground floor of Sarit Center in Westlands after listed retailer Uchumi closed its Sarit branch in a move to place a lid on its operational costs. The new store will open its doors to customers in April 2018 and will initially operate using the partial selling area model, similar to what Carrefour has applied in its TRM and Junction stores. Carrefour already has 4 stores in Kenya since opening its doors in 2016. The Carrefour store at the Sarit Center will have over 30,000 food and non-food items and host specialist sections such as fresh produce, groceries, a fresh bakery and a butchery. Another story that made headlines this week, listed lender Barclays Bank Kenya has posted a drop in its net profits to 6.9 billion shillings, representing a 6.3% decline. The fall in profits have been attributed to the implementation of the interest rate cap. This, the bank says, it compressed its margin, resulting in a decline in revenues. Last year, the bank had reported a net profit of 7.3 billion shillings. Consumers in Kenya will continue to feel the pinch of the high cost of living despite the drop in inflation to 4.46% recorded in February. According to data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the food and non-alcoholic drinks index increased by 2.2% month over month and decreased to 3.83% year over year. In the food basket, apart from sugar, all other food items posted a price increase due to Kenyans' weather-dependent agriculture. Products like vegetables saw their price jump significantly, with skuma wiki and onions price jumping 9% and 11% respectively. The money markets once again, and of course we'll start with the money markets. And the shilling, the dollar is trading at 101.18 buy and 101.38 shillings sell. The pound is trading at 139.08 shillings buy and 139.38 shillings sell. The euro is trading at 123.17 shillings buy and 123.44 shillings sell. Active stocks, ARM Cement is trading at 16.09 million shillings. Safaricom is trading at 4.78 million shillings. Equity is at 2.11 million shillings and KCB is trading at 0.75 million shillings. To the winning stocks now, Kakuzi is ahead with 390 shillings, up 9.86%, followed by National Bank, which is trading at 9.00 at 6.51% up. Home Africa is trading at 1 shilling and 20 cents, up 4.35%. Housing Finance Group is trading at 10.95 shillings, up 4.78%. To the losing stocks now, BAT is trading at 700 shillings, down 8.97%. Stanlib is at 10.00, down 8.26%. Mumias is 0.95 shillings, down 5.500%. And Flemtree is down 4.25 shillings, trading at 4.25 shillings, down 3.41%. To business news beyond our borders, Ghana's President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has called for the African Union to play a greater role in resolving the Libyan crisis and reforming the UN Security Council. He spoke at a joint press conference with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Addo also wants German authorities to treat African migrants humanly. The president says that though migrants may offend German laws, they should be treated with respect. Earlier, he spoke at the 5th German African Economic Forum in Dortmund, Germany, under the theme African Markets, Potential and Opportunities for German Businesses.
Sit down, please.
And the view that Ghana takes is that the African Union should be the lead entity in driving for the solution in Libya. It has been relegated to the sidelines. It's well known that the African Union has a position on the need for a reform, a comprehensive reform of the United Nations. And that comprehensive reform requires a restructuring of the Security Council.
An exhibition of photos, videos, paintings and posters, among other images captured during protests against Zimbabwe's former long-serving president, Robert Mugabe, last year, recently opened at the National Gallery of Zimbabwe. The work, documented by artists and ordinary Zimbabweans as President Robert Mugabe was being forced out of office by the military, aims to explore various topics from jubilation to uncertainty, resilience and hope, at a time when Mugabe was in the tightest spot in his 37-year rule.
As people in Africa, our stories have been told by many other people. So the motivation was for us to be able to tell our own story through the images that you are seeing in this exhibition, which are coming from both professional and non-professional photographers and artists coming from all over Zimbabwe to be able to tell their story, the events and the moments that transpired into a new dispensation in Zimbabwe on the 18th of November 2017.
The messages that are here are more of the resilience of the people, what people wanted. For the longest time, we've been kind of passive nationals in the country. We've had passive nationals in the country, but we've had an opportunity to show our resilience. We went and marched, and we documented the march, showing what people stood for, what their need was.
You know, on the day you don't see the different angles. We didn't see the different angles, and now to experience it and to see through other people's eyes. It just really brings back really good emotions.
It's brought back those memories of and those feelings of that day when we felt liberated, we felt free, we felt like it was a new beginning for the country.
On the 18th of November, we decided that the atmosphere was too good and the opportunity was actually being lost because the people were actually worried about police tear gassing and disrupting the march. So when on Friday night we decided to pack up the drone, charge everything, and on the Saturday we went and we actually beamed most of the footage live on Facebook.
Still in Zimbabwe, white farmers still face an uncertain future despite the government's assurances that their seed lands will be returned to them. When the riot police arrived, Zimbabwean farm worker Mary Muriengwe saw her life fall apart as her job and home disappeared in the ruthless land seizures that defined Robert Mugabe's rule. Muriengwe, aged 35, watched as police carrying AK-47 rifles released tear gas to force white farmer Robert Smart off his land in June 2017. Perhaps the last of 18 years of eviction that helped trigger the country's economic collapse. To her shock and amazement, Muriengwe is now back at work in the farm and back living in her modest house after Mugabe was ousted in November and Emmerson Mnangagwa became president.
Came with some police support unit and all dressed up in riot gear with AKs and shields and all that. To evict people, we didn't know this is how it was done. And we were told to get out of our houses, and they started picking up stuff because they had a lot of hired help from Mutari in these trucks, which you presume Mananga must have hired. And they came and they went to both our houses, took the stuff out and threw it onto the road. There was the feeling of joy that we're allowed back here thanks to the new government and the president, and of course our resident minister, who's been very, very helpful to us. All that was a feeling of joy coming back, and not only us, it was all our people around here. But then, it's hard to describe the feeling when you go into your house and it's totally trashed, there's nothing there, you haven't got anything.
Back home, representatives of the three countries attached to LAPSET project have commended the construction development of the project, saying it will improve interregional relationship and security. LAPSET, which is a multi-billion shilling project, hopes to ease logistics in East and Central Africa. The project is now at a 40% completion rate, with LAPSET CEO Sylvester Kasuku maintaining that the project is on course.
Coming quite on the heels of the project is also the crude oil pipeline that will bring oil from Lokicha to Lamu Port. In addition to completing the road connection between Lamu Port through Garissa and Isiolo, so that we'll have a seamless flow of goods between the port of Lamu with Ethiopia as well as with South Sudan.
All right, that's where we come to a close here on KTN Business Today. Thank you very much for making time. Always a pleasure. Don't forget, after the break, Trading Bell comes up next. And of course, we leave you with the financial report. Have a blessed weekend.